I'm alive! Hello there and welcome to a very long overdue video on this channel. And by long overdue, I mean 3 months of inactivity. Jeez man, I really need to work on my schedule. With a tremendous amount of college work I had to deal with, and 200 gigabytes of data being corrupted, and my mic breaking, life's been rather difficult, per se. Alas, I am returned to be granted this opportunity to showcase something that should have been done 3 months ago. I present to you all Caspar, the Zhuchengtyrannus, Melchior, the Tarbosaurus, and Balthazar, the Tyrannosaurus, the titular Three Tyrants. Perhaps one of the most famous of dinosaurs known to the public is Tyrannosaurus Rex, known for its remarkable size and awe-inspiring presence. But T-Rex was not the only one of its kind. There were others like it. First of these great kings was Zhuchengtyrannus Magnus, the great tyrant of Zhucheng. Discovered at the Shandong province of China, this animal would have lived in an environment like that of a floodplain, rich with life. It was the first of the Tyrannosaurians, a tribe or group within the family Tyrannosauridae. It lived around 72 million years ago. Due to incomplete remains, however, being known only from skull fragments and other scant remains, its size is relatively difficult to estimate. But based on its relatives, it may have reached 10 to 11 meters in length and weights of 5 to 6 tons. Surely an imposing creature and the top predator of its environment. Because of its fragmentary nature, not much else can be said about this great reptile. Only future discoveries will only add to our knowledge. Yet, this was only the first member of the Tyrannosaurians. The next step comes with Tarbosaurus Batar, with its name meaning alarming reptile hero. Humorously though, its specific name is a misspelling of the word Baatar, spelled as B-A-A-T-A-R. Hey, even scientists can make mistakes sometimes. Tarbosaurus is essentially the Asiatic equivalent of T-Rex. It was the closest to size to Tyrannosaurus among the Tyrannosaurids, measuring around 11 to 12 meters and weighing at around 5 to 7 tons. It was discovered at Mongolia in rocks that dated to the Maastrichtian stage of the late Cretaceous period, around 70 to 66 million years ago. Its environment would have been a humid floodplain crisscrossed with rivers that was subjected to periodic droughts. It was certainly quite similar to its North American counterpart, but there are key differences in their anatomy. For one, the Tyrannosaurids are known for having small arms, but those of Tarbosaurus were quite tiny. In fact, it had one of the smallest arms in proportion to its body. Another major difference comes in its skull. It was thinner compared to T-Rex's boxy head, indicating that it may have hunted different prey from its North American relative. Perhaps it was an adaptation to tackle titanosaurids and hadrosaurids, which were more numerous in its environment. Even though the skull was thin, it was still quite rigid based on analysis. Perhaps it was an adaptation to tackle titanosaurids and hadrosaurids, which were more numerous in its environment. Even though the skull was thin, it was still quite a rigid structure based on analysis. This may have helped in tearing off the flesh of its prey whilst they were still alive, effectively employing a hunting strategy similar to what the Carcharodontosaurids may have employed, inflicting wounds and causing the animal to bleed to death. Finally, we reach the end of this great lineage. The largest theropod in terms of mass, Tyrannosaurus Rex, living at the end of the Cretaceous period, 68 to 66 million years ago. Found from Canada to the United States and possibly all the way down to New Mexico, it was as infamous as it was widespread. Indeed, it was quite a successful animal, producing some absolute units such as Sue and Scotty, reaching lengths of around 13 meters and weights of 8 to 9 tons. In layman's terms, they were built different. Yet, despite being so monstrous in their appearance, they are still animals, and like any animal, their lives are much more complex than what most media shows to the public. They ate, slept, played amongst themselves, bonded, and fought. It is such a shame then that most media presents them as bloodthirsty and mindless monsters. But for all my gripes with how they're predicted in today's media, it's a breath of fresh air to see the resurgence of things such as documentaries that aim to show these animals as just animals, all in part due to Prehistoric Planet's success and the failure of the Jurassic World trilogy. Now on to my very own depictions of these animals. I went for a Christmas theme despite it being 3 months late. Then again, it is Holy Week at the moment, so I suppose it fits. Ooh. Each animal presented here is colored to represent something about Christmas, even though it is extremely late at this point, but oh well. Caspar being that of a pine tree, Melchior being heavily inspired by its counterpart from Prehistoric Planet, but also representing Christmas balls, and Balthazar being like that of snow, even though it's more of a greyish color. These three came out pretty decent in my opinion, although there are areas that need a bit more attention. Overall, I think these three look spectacular together. Moving on to the base, it is around 30 inches around the perimeter. The environment I wanted to go for was a floodplain to represent what these creatures would have likely lived in. However, it became more like a swamp or wetland, which is somewhat close to the original vision I had. As good as all of these go together, I decided to sell these off for a fair price. However, even though I am a bit sad that they won't be displayed at my home, I am happy that they'll go somewhere where they can be seen by many people, which may further spread the influence of dinosaurs and other forms of prehistoric life, which is something I am absolutely thankful for to be given the opportunity to do so. And with that comes the end of the video. I do appreciate that you came this far, and I am truly sorry for the ridiculous amount of time that passed without an upload to this channel, but hopefully with the adjustments that I made, I may upload more frequently in the future. Hopefully. But I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Three tyrants so glorious are, bearing teeth, they strike awe in hearts. Greatest hunters of the earth, reign ended from the stars. All in wonder of their might, creatures with the strongest bites, hailing from the west and east, varies from heavy and light. Zhuchengtyrannus magnus, obscure and not very famous, known from fragmentary remain, yet it's still tremendous. Oh, deadly hunters with good sight, animals who reach great heights. Is it any wonder that their presence in culture's bright? Next is Tarbosaurus, but tar comes from deserts and reservoirs. Regal and alarming reptile, ruling Namek and far. Oh, critters run or take flight with huge bulks and jaws that smite, well-adapted predators, wondrous and would die. Atlas Tyrannosaurus Rex, most revered amongst all the rest. Its importance can't be denied, well known but can perplex. Oh, they may carry wit and fright, but they bring great insight to our distant and long past, worthy of the limelight. Glorious now, behold them arise, great kings of remarkable size. All hail the Tyrannosaurids, rose through the earth and skies. Oh, we now have shed more light, modern monsters that fight, models of success stories, bringing joy and delight.